I worked at Maventech for 11 years. It was the kind of place where people came and went every few months, but I stayed. I built departments, trained dozens of new hires, and watched 3 different managers come and go. Through every chaotic rebranding, software migration, and budget crisis, I was there. And yet, on a cold Friday morning, I was handed a cardboard box and told, "We're letting you go." No warning, no severance, no explanation. The woman who delivered the news, Tracy Simmons, had only been with the company for 9 months. She came in with flashy presentations, buzzwords, and a fake smile that never quite reached her eyes. She barely knew what my role was, but she knew how to play office politics. And apparently, she had decided I didn't fit into her new vision. As I stood there in her sterile office, she avoided eye contact. "It's nothing personal," she said, typing as she spoke. "We're just restructuring." My hands trembled slightly. Not from fear or sadness, just from the sheer absurdity of it all. I wanted to ask, restructuring what? The projects I built? The clients I brought in? The mentorship program I created on my own time? But I didn't say a word. I smiled politely, thanked her for the opportunity, and packed up the desk I had called home for more than a decade. What she didn't know was who I really was. You see, when I first joined Maventech, I applied under my mother's maiden name. Not because I had anything to hide, but because I didn't want special treatment. I wanted to make it on my own. What no one at the company knew was that my father, Martin Crane, was the CEO of Arcadia Ventures, the tech investment firm that funded 40% of Maventech's operating capital. In fact, their largest ongoing contract, a $12 million innovation grant, came directly from my father's firm. He had encouraged me to find my own way and promised never to interfere. I never used his name, never asked for favors, until now. That evening I drove home in silence. Not sad, not angry, just clear, crystal clear. When I walked into my apartment, my phone buzzed. It was an automated email from HR. "Your departure from Maventech is effective immediately. We wish you the best." The subject line: Exit Protocol. They didn't even write my name. I called my dad that night. We hadn't spoken about work in a long time, and he didn't even know I still worked at Maventech. He answered on the second ring. "Hi, sweetheart," he said. "Everything okay?" I hesitated for a moment, then said calmly, "They let me go today?" "No reason. Just done." There was a pause, then a quiet, measured reply. "Do they know who you are?" I smiled. "No." Another pause. Then he said something I'll never forget. "Let's fix that tomorrow." The next morning, Tracy's day started like any other. Emails, meetings, coffee. She had no idea that the rug beneath her feet was already gone. By 10:30 a.m., she received a calendar invite marked Urgent Funding Status Review with Arcadia Ventures. She clicked the link and saw my father's name. She probably Googled it. Maybe her hands started to shake. Maybe not. But by noon, she was in a boardroom with my father and 2 other partners. The message was simple. Arcadia was pulling the entire $12 million contract, effective immediately. When she asked why, my father said calmly, "We no longer feel our values align with your leadership decisions." She tried to talk, to explain, to blame someone else. But it was too late. An hour later, the CEO of Maventech called her into his office. 10 minutes after that, she was escorted out of the building by security. She never knew I had said a single word. 3 weeks later, Maventech made a public statement about internal restructuring and funding realignment. Behind the scenes, the company scrambled to stay afloat. And me? I received a handwritten letter from the CEO apologizing for how things were handled. He offered me my position back with a raise. I declined, because some things, once broken, are better left shattered. Instead, I joined another firm, one that valued loyalty, integrity, and people over politics. And Tracy? She never worked in corporate leadership again. The story of her short-sightedness spread through industry circles like wildfire. She had fired the daughter of her biggest investor without so much as a proper exit interview. I didn't yell. I didn't threaten. I didn't need revenge through rage. I had patience and power. She thought she was ending my career, but really, she was writing the first line of her own downfall. So tell me, what would you have done in my place? Would you have walked away quietly? Or would you have let karma write the final chapter?